Hi, I'm Lisa, a practicing liminal witch and tarot reader with over 28 years experience in helping people find guidance through the cards. On this channel I talk about all sorts of witchy, spooky and mystical things that interest me and I hope will interest you too. Welcome to Beyond Authentic Witchcraft. This is a Tarot Tuesday. Let's see what the cards will say today. Yes indeed, let's see what the cards are going to say. Good evening everybody. Here in the UK is 7 p.m. Hopefully we're not going to have any gremlins tonight. The clouds are very, very dark. It looks very stormy. It's been on and off all day, so we might have thunderstorms, but we are now connected through the cables and everything. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we should be okay. Say hello to a few people. Good evening to Eliz. Good evening to Ed and Patricia there. Look, two of our lovely moderators. Good evening to Valeria. Is that Valeria? Yes, I think it is. And to Study Nihongo. Hello. We are going to we're going to open the list very shortly. So how it works on this channel, you do have to be a subscriber, obviously. But also to get a question, you've got to put the word question followed by your question into the live chat. I will call for a round to open. Go ahead and do that then. And then basically I will pick one of those people at random and do their reading for them. Once that one's done, I normally take about 10-15 minutes. Once that reading is done, I'll call for another round to open and then pop your questions in then. Okay, so it is totally at random. I will just grab the first one that I'm drawn to. If you would like to QJump that system and guarantee yours is next, you can go up here, buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic, and you can QJump there. And I think it's £4 in the UK or £3.50 if you're one of our lovely members. And yeah, you can QJump and then you get a 7-card reading as well instead of the 3 cards. So if that sounds interesting, you know what to do now. So we are going to open a round very, very soon. Before we do, I do have to say that tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counselling advice. If you are looking for support in those areas, as I always say, please do seek out professionals in those areas. I do have some qualifications in various bits, but I'm not a professional counsellor, doctor, legal advisor, or lawyer, or financial advisor. But if you want support, go and seek out professionals. Right then, that being said, it is now 7 p.m. here in the UK. Patricia has put the link into the chat if you want to jump to the front of the queue. And I am now going to go ahead and press the magic button that opens the round. So if you would like a reading, this is what you need to do.
YouTube tarot reader Lisa Lee has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Yes, indeed. I don't tend to swear a lot. I try not to, but, you know, I mean, I'm wearing a Nirvana hoodie. I am one of Generation X. We are the ones who, you know, all of that, all of the stuff, all of the bad language, the grunge era, all of that, that was us. So then let's have a look at the chat. Right, and the first person I can see is Eliz. And your question is, will RB and I reconcile in the future? Let me just change banners 1 second. There we go. Oh, hang on. There we go. Where's your question gone? Sorry, I've highlighted it in the wrong place. There we go. I can see it now. Will RB and I reconcile in the future? His thoughts and feelings on us getting together in the future. Okay, my darling, I will have a look at that for you. So I think I've just seen Holland pop in as well. Good evening, Holland. I hope you are well, my friend. Thank you very much for joining. Holland is one of our moderators. So then let's swap over to card cam so we can see what the cards are doing. There we go. And I will, as always, cleanse the space. I do this before every reading. And I'll ask the dragons, which are my elemental energies I work with. Dragons, we would like a reading, please, for Eliz. And the question is, will RB and Liz get reconciled in the future? And Liz would like to know a few ideas about what RB's thoughts and feelings are on them maybe getting together again in the future. So that's what we want to know, dragons. Will RB, oh, we've had a card flip and drop. Look at that. So there we go. The King of Wands. That is your clarifying card. Now, what I will do is I will draw your, drop your card. So it's like cutting the deck. There we go. That was a very, very quick drop, wasn't it? And then these are your 3 cards. Let's have a look at what we've got. Oh, they're all coming up. Everything's come up reversed. Right. Okay. Let's have a look for you, my darling. I'm going to pop your question just there. So then let's have a look. So the King of Wands. Wands is, for me, all about your confidence, how you know yourself to be, how you feel about yourself, all of that, basically how you identify, all of the stuff that makes you you, right? And the King of Wands is normally, if we look this way, it can be seen for me as very, very super confident. So maybe a little bit too confident at times, but this is reversed, which I think it's a front. I think that RB maybe has been putting on a bit of a front somewhere, because that's normally for me what this would be. And because you're specifically asking about what RB is likely to do and what his thoughts and feelings are, I think that this relates to him. But that's your clarifying card. So we'll have a look at what that means. So where he is now, I guess, what you need to know and what the opportunities are. Now, they are all reversed, which I will get to as we go through the cards. So for me, the Knight of Wands, a bit like the King, it's all about your sense of security, confidence and things. The Knight of Wands is the teenage energy. So you can see here they're on the skateboard. This is that, for me, that teenage kind of element where they're going to think first and act later. And, you know, when you're young, you don't mind breaking your leg on a skateboard. That seems worth it. But when you get to your 30s and 40s, you think, don't really want to do that now, because I don't really have time to break my leg. But when you're this age, it doesn't matter. So it's saying basically that the way he really is a knight. So he's got quite young, quite maybe some immature energy there, but what it's saying, hang on a second, no, we'll review that later, thank you very much. What it's saying is that basically on the surface he's trying to make out he's a lot more confident, and underneath he's actually kind of a little bit immature maybe, and very teenage, so very insecure about where his life is going. Now in the what you need to know, we've got the Nine of Wands. Now again, I'll flip this round. Now for me, the nines are normally kind of where we're getting to the end of the story. So this is where you're getting to really enjoy everything that you put out. But this card, this deck, is a little bit different in its feeling. So this is saying, yes, it is about security and confidence, because that seems to be what all of this is about. But the nine is basically, because it's reversed, it's basically saying, look, we're running very low on candles, very low. We're very, very low. We've been going a long time. We're getting a little bit, not so much that you're sick of things, but you're kind of getting to the point where everything needs replacing. Maybe things were getting stagnant. Now, because this is reversed, it's something I don't think he's ever said. I don't think he's really looked at. But the fact that you say reconcile, for me, that means that there was a connection. And it just feels like it's kind of, that connection is winding down in some way. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think, you know, like the light's starting to go dim. I think that's kind of what that is telling me. And then we've got the Three of Swords. Now, swords for me is always trouble and strife. And quite often in the Three of Swords, we see the heart being pierced by three swords. So this traditionally is a card of heartache. And this is coming up in the opportunity position. So this is kind of what is likely to have an outcome here. And the fact that it's reversed, I think personally, Eliz, I think that RB probably doesn't deserve you, and more than likely whatever happened or whatever opportunity you had in the past, I don't think that's going to happen again. It feels very much like, especially with this Three of Swords, the heartache card coming up, I think this is the kind of moment that the cards are saying, look, end that chapter and move on, because it really does feel like RB has either already moved on or has decided, because all the cards are reversed. So again, it feels very much that this is a decision that's already been made. And I know that you're asking what his thoughts and feelings are, but this is also connecting in with your energy, which is why I think the cards are coming up so explicitly reversed, because it's literally saying, look, this isn't what you want, but this is what is happening. So yeah, so I hope you can take that, my darling. Let me just move this down ever so slightly. Oh, There we go. I hope you can take that, my darling. It's not the news you want, I know, and it's probably not what you were hoping for, but that is what the cards are giving me, my darling. It feels very much a done deal, if that makes sense. So then let me just have a look in the chat. Let me have a look. Oh gosh, we've had loads of people just join. Hello to Jeebus in Yorkshire, good evening. Good evening, Enchantress. I don't know what that symbol is, whether it's a bee, I'm not sure. Good evening, Curious Holland. Good evening, Cup of Tea with $3 worth of sugar and cookies. I love your name. Good evening to Neil. Neil's here. We've got a full house. We've got a full squad of mods. And Elise. No, I don't think there's a reconciliation there, my darling Elise. I really don't. It feels, because all those 3 cards are reversed, all 4 of those cards are reversed, it really doesn't feel like there's a reconciliation coming up, particularly and especially with that 3 of Swords, which is the heartbreak card, my darling. So I don't think there's, if I put it this way, if I was reading that about my own relationship or a very close friend, I would say it's probably not going to happen. In fact, I would be extremely surprised if there was a hope even of reconciliation, because it really does feel that that's a done deal now, my darling. And to be honest with you, if you've had a connection with somebody in the past and they're not wanting you now, then they don't deserve you. So just think about that, my darling. RB doesn't deserve you. If he had his chance with you and if he let you slip through his fingers, then you are the one that got away. You know, like in a big fish, when people go fishing and they get the big fish, oh, I could have got a fish this big. It doesn't count. You didn't catch it. It's the one that got away. You always think about the best things that got away. So there you are, my darling. RB can now think about it and forevermore be longing and go, I wonder what would have happened if. So there you go. Hopefully that helps, my darling. I really do hope it helps. Right then, we're going to change the ticker tape and we're going to open another round. So if you don't know how this works, after I've done a reading, we'll open a round and then it's time to put your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, and then I will just grab one of those at random. If there's something I'm drawn to, it could be a name, it could be just where it is on the chat screen. And yeah, I will grab one of those and then I will read for that person. Everybody else, hang on in there because readings take about 10 minutes. And once we're done with a reading, the round will automatically pretty much open again unless I say something else is happening. But all you need to do is just hang on in there. But a little tip, copy, don't paste, but just copy your question, and then when the next round opens, just paste it in then. That way we don't get people that want a question but then get, you know, they have to go and do real world stuff, or they're watching something on telly or whatever's happening, because we used to get people that would call 5 or 6 times throughout an evening and then there wouldn't be anybody there because they're off watching Dallas, or yeah, because it is 1991. Yeah, they're off watching Dallas. Anyway, the round is open. Get your questions in, starting with the word question. And yeah, you've got about 30 seconds. Right, I'm just checking on the Buy Me a Coffee, see if anybody's taken advantage of the QJump. Not today so far. So then, the questions we've got. Oh, hi, Sheriel. I was immediately drawn to you as well, my darling, and you haven't got a question on. So I will go for the next question word I see, which is cup of tea with $3 worth of sugar and cookies. So let me just hit that one. That does sound really nice, actually. A cup of tea with loads of sugar and cookies. I can't have that because I'm diabetic. It'll make me very poorly. But anyway, what is your question, my darling? Your question is, what will my future spouse be like? Right. Okay. So, Wispy, my darling. I'm going to ask you to step aside. I'm going to ask Scarlett to come. So if you don't know, when I talk about my dragons, there's a whole podcast episode, by the way. Hopefully one of the mods is rapidly putting it into the chat now with a link. If not, go and have a look on the channel, which, by the way, if you are on a laptop or a PC, if you click on the channel itself, on the homepage of the channel, there's now links in the top right-hand corner to my Buy Me a Coffee site, the Fiverr site, my own website, my Facebook group, and Instagram. So they're all now linked. I didn't know you could do that before. It was really exciting when I found out I could do that. Anyway, that's all on there. If you're on the PC, a computer, a Mac, or a laptop. If you're on phones and tablets, I don't think it comes up. It does come up if you hit the description. You've then got those links there as well. But anyway, so I'm asking Scarlett, who is our red dragon. She is our fire dragon. And I'm changing the color on the lights, or at least I'm brightening the lights. Am I? I was. There we go. So we've got the red lights on the speakers. We're asking Scarlett because she deals with passion, fire, passion, and love. So that's what we want. So Scarlett, my darling. Scarlett. We've got the lovely cup of tea with $3 worth of sugar and cookies, who would like to know what their future spouse will be like. So we would like to know. I tell you what, let's have some fun with this. We'll do a 4-card reading. So what I would like, Wispy is not happy, but it's very much fun. So Scarlett, what we would like, my darling, is one picture, one card for what they are physically like, because this deck has got lots of different body types, and then 3 cards for their personality, because that's the most important bit in it. It is. I know it is. I know you're thinking, no, actually, I just want to know about like 6 foot tall. That's what you want to know. But actually, it's the personality, because people change as we go through life. So personality, Scarlett, personality, and 1 for physicality. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So then let's have a bit of fun with this tonight. Let's swap the cameras to the card cam. Here we go. No, come on. There we go. There we go. Everything is connecting beautifully. Right, here we go then. So the first card, Scarlett. Okay, or the card that dropped. Ooh, so the card that dropped, I was asking for the first card. Here we go. Scarlett is giving us the Hermit for their physicality. So if you look, this Hermit, maybe a little bit older, maybe a little bit more wise, a bit more wizened. Not necessarily saying that they're going to come with like white hair or things, but maybe a little bit older. Maybe they've got a little bit more experience, a couple of more miles on the clock, that sort of thing. But this was just their physicality. So hermits are normally, I would say, the standard sort of cliche image that I get when I think of a hermit is somebody who probably eats very little, consumes very few calories, is quite thin, not necessarily scrawny, but thin. But because they're living out on their own, making their a cave or the woods their home, they're actually quite physical. So probably a little bit thin, muscular, but not necessarily skinny. Anyway, so physically, that's what we've got. And then if you notice, I'm not reading the reversals with this because it's a little bit more the physicality with the deck, because we've got people of all sorts of body shapes and sizes with this, so that's fine. Right then, let's just do your drop. And then so 3 for the personality type. So we've got the Queen of Swords, we've got the 7 of Swords, and we've got the High Priestess reversed. Right, so I will bring reversals in here. So the 3 personality types we've got now, the Queen of Swords, that person's personality for me is quite a little bit aloof, and a little bit not cold, but very knowing, very determined to do the job, very by the book. So personality wise, very authoritative. Now I'm going to edge my bets a little bit here, because the swords for me has always been trouble and strife, but it can also mean ideas, because it is the air element, and traditionally the air element deals with ideas. So it could be somebody that's actually on the down low quite creative, Now, the Seven of Swords is one that for me is about things being removed. So because we've got the reversal here, it feels like this person would be quite not overly materialistic, but they like the things that they specifically like the things that they like or collect, and they don't like it if somebody either poo-poos that or tries to take that away. Now the sevens, you can see we've got a magpie here because it is quite a magpie card. So this idea of collecting and collectibles is probably quite a major, maybe a major part of their life. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I'm getting the image of what they're called. Funko Pops. That's what I'm getting the image of. So there you go. Possibly they're like Funko Pops. I don't know. But the more positive aspects of the Seven of Swords is that there is a lot of ideas. Sometimes there can be so many ideas that it's hard to, you know, make them anything else other than just an idea. But we've got this Queen element, which is going to bring the ideas, some of them, to fruition. So that's a positive. And then we've also got the High Priestess here. Now the High Priestess is somebody who really, for me, is normally seen as quite aloof, only because she's very, very knowing. She is the spiritual leader, I guess, of the people, and the one that nurtures, or at least is seen to nurture, that spiritual energy, to want it to grow, not for control purposes, but to genuinely help the spiritual nature of the people, of the populace. Now, obviously, the Emperor, the High Priest, the Hierophant, that energy is far more, you know, we need the churchgoers because you need to follow this because of the rules. This is what you need to do. This is what you not need to do. So from a personality perspective, it feels like somebody who is quite sure of themselves, I would say. Now again, the High Priestess was reversed, so there is a certain element here where maybe they are seeking that kind of spiritual knowledge, and they're actively wanting to pursue it. They're actively wanting to find it, to maybe go down the road of becoming the High Priestess. They're actively searching for that. So we've got somebody who's searching for a spiritual path, is probably a collector of some sort, and really dislikes when the collections are either thought as being silly or frivolous, or when somebody says, oh, you know, should you have all those? But also somebody who is quite aware of their own dark side, quite aware of their shadow side, but also very much, again, creative and in a position of some kind of authority, and also looks kind of, you know, maybe a little bit older, a little bit wiser. So there you go. That's what the cards are giving me for what your spouse is going to be a bit like. Right, let me just have a look back on the chat. I've never done that before, Cup of Tea, so hopefully you'll have to let us know. You'll have to let us know if you meet somebody that's like that. Right, let me just go into the chat. Oh, wow, lots of things. Right, Victoria, bear with me a second. Sherry, right, okay, everybody hold the thought 1 second. Hold your questions. I'm about to end this reading. Once I've ended this one, then it is time to put your readings in. Okay, so I will do that in just a second. And yeah, I'll do that in just a second. Oh, sorry, I've just realized my mistake. Victoria, you're quite right, the banner's still running. Sorry about that. I meant to turn that off. My fault entirely for the confusion. Sorry, mods, and sorry, everybody. Hi, Flower Beauty. Cup of Tea, I hope it helps, right? I really hope it helps. So now, anybody you meet on the street, and again, we did have a queen and a high priestess there. So there is a certain quote unquote feminine energy, but that doesn't mean anything to do with gender, okay? And again, what is and isn't feminine energy has been argued from, I was about to say eternia, but that isn't the word I meant to say. Eternity has been argued for and from eternity. So it's the traits that people would normally say those are feminine, not the actual. You get what I mean. You get what I mean. Right then, hopefully that helps, my darling. But if you see somebody like that, maybe ask them out for coffee. You never know. You never know. Stranger things have happened. Right, I need to turn this big light down ever so slightly. Oh, that's up. There we go. Not only is it, oh gosh, You just saw the mess then, didn't you? I know, we're still sorting the room. Not only was it really bright in my eyes, but it was completely washing me out on camera. Right then, so it is now time for another reading. We're going to, you like the word Eternia? I do, because it's where She-Ra came from. Is that right? Were they both from? Yeah, no, it wasn't. Sorry, He-Man came from Eternia. She-Ra came from Etheria. She-Ra, She-Ra, She-Ra. Had to do that. It was in my head. My ADHD was going, don't dance, don't sing. Let's do it anyway. Right, it is time for... Oh, dear. Why have we not got 10 million subscribers, Lisa? Because I do shit like this. Right then, it is time for another round to open. If you would like a reading, go ahead and put them in now. Just ask the question, starting with the word question. That's all you need to do. The ticker tape is running. I will remember to turn it off. But that is all you need to do. Put your question in right now. We have a super strong connection here. Right. Oh my God! What will your cards say? That is the question of the evening. So then I will have a look on the live chat, because as you know, I tend to have the live chat off. I'm immediately drawn to Queen 707. I think it was the name Queen. I've just been watching some Adam Lambert doing Who Wants to Live Forever. Oh, I had chills. It was absolutely chilling. So yes, so Queen 707. I don't know whether that's why it was drawn to me, but it was. You were normally doing tea when the programs came on. Really? Oh gosh. Yeah, about right, time-wise. Right then, Queen 707, let me read your question. I'm going to hit the star it, so then when I turn it off, come off the live chat, and there we go. I've got your question there in the starred section. Right, question: how does my friend May really feel about me and our friendship? Like, does she really want to rekindle our friendship? I will have a look at that for you, my darling. Let's have a look-see. So let's bring card cam in. There we go. Are we clicked? Are we on it? No. Are we on it now? Oh, there we are. We are now. Fantastic. Why does that keep going to every time I bring it over, it goes to a different position? That's really strange. Right, there we go. So then, dragons. Queen 707 would like to know, how does May really feel about their friendship? Does May want to rekindle their friendship? That's what we want to know. Okay, so Queen 707, we're friends, something's happened, and Queen would like to know, how does May really feel about it? That's what we want to know. Oh, there we go. 9 of Cups has dropped. Thank you, Wispy. If you don't know, Wispy is our normal dragon here. He's an air dragon, so not connected to the swords, bizarrely, but he is connected to the ethereal in many, many, many ways. And the way that different dragons come through on different readings when they're needed is fascinating, unless I call them. And again, if you don't know what I'm talking about with my dragons, they are technically servitors, and there's a whole video about what my dragons are. It's part of our podcast series, so if you want to go and click on that, there's a whole playlist if you want to watch the entire playlist. I know, right? I know, it's almost, that was dead professional, wasn't it? It's almost like I'm an actual YouTuber. No, because look, real YouTubers would probably paint their nails before coming on screen, but you know, it's me. I like the chip nail look. It reminds me of my grunge days back in my youth. Right, anyway. Not that you need to know any of this. So then, we've got the 2 of Pentacles, my darling. Oops. we've got the Seven of Swords again in the same position. Wowzer. And we've got the Hanged One. Don't panic about that, my darling. It sounds spookier than it actually is. It does. It isn't saying that May wants to hang you. Honestly, it's not. But let's just, I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring your question. No, hang on. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to move the camera slightly and bring that off. So there we go. So you can see more of it on screen. So then what does May feel about your friendship? Overriding everything, we've got the Nine of Cups. Now, this is quite a triumphant card. So it feels very positive overall. So this is the clarifying, modifying card. Basically, if there's anything here that we're not entirely certain of, or there's anything here that's a bit clashing, like the Seven, then this helps us view it through a different lens. So we've got the laurel leaf of victory. We've got the various cups. In this case, it is really trophies, apart from the vase that looks similar to the vase that got my mother in on the sideboard, you know what I mean? But it is a very triumphant, very positive, upbeat sort of card. So I think deep down, whatever's happened between you, whatever fallout you've had, I think deep down, she really does still care, you know? I think your friendship was based on truthful friendship, regardless of whatever's happened since. I think, you know, that key element that you had, that friendship, that bond, I think it was a genuine bond. So don't ever worry that, you know, maybe she didn't want to be a friend or whatever. Now, we've got these three cards I'm going to pretty much read as one, because you're saying, like, does she want to rekindle? Now, when we look at this overall, we've got an interesting sort of story here, right? So the Two of Pentacles gives us a 2. Now that for me is always a bond, a connection. So again, that's absolutely spot on with what you're saying about the friendship and what this card is saying. So yes, it tells me there's a genuine, authentic friendship there. And we are all about the authenticity on this channel. Pentacles is sometimes about career, work, and finances. And normally when we say work, we mean your job. But it can also mean effort. Particularly on this deck, it's very much about putting the work in, putting the effort in, putting in that amount of oomph to get something back. You know what I mean? It's planting those seeds to reap the rewards. And so this is saying that I honestly think this friendship, if it feels like it was going for quite a while before the two of you had whatever fallout you had, Queen. So it doesn't feel like it was like, oh, we met at at a pottery class and we became friends last summer. It feels like this was a longer friendship, or certainly one that that grew really well, because we've got the 2 here. Now again, swords for me is trouble and strife, so there is a certain element here of concern, but the 7 is about things. Somebody had a fear of things being removed or things being taken. I will say stolen, but I don't mean that physical things were stolen. It's like there was something else that was being, it felt like they was being removed somehow from the friendship. So I don't know whether there's whether somebody else came into the friendship and then or like like maybe May got a partner or something and then there was less time. It's something like that, where something was being subtracted or extracted. That's an interesting, my brain, the dragons just dumped that. Extracted, something was being extracted. So it's not money though, it's something else. It's not money, because it's not although it could be money, because we've got pentacles here. I don't think, it doesn't feel like money to me. Anyway, how she feels, we've got the Hangman. Now the Hangman is a card, or the Hanged One, sorry. The Hanged One is a card of self-sacrifice. The way that I learned the tarot 28 years ago, was that this card represents Odin hanging on the Yggdrasil, the tree of life, waiting the knowledge of the runes. And he had to wait for 40 days and 40 nights. I know it's got biblical elements, but he waited that time to be granted, to be worthy enough from the gods to be granted the wisdom of the runes. So this is about sacrificing your short term for long-term gain, and it is an upright card, so it's a more positive aspect. So I think there is something happening with this friendship. It really feels like it was a genuine friendship, but something is coming to play where it feels like it maybe got into an imbalance, and now it feels like one of you is sacrificing you know what I think this is? I think someone's being bloody stubborn. That's what I think this is. I think this could be you. Right. Okay, hang on. Let me change cameras because this needs to be an eye to eye thing. I know it's not eye to eye because technically you're not here, but my darling, what this is saying, right? This feels like whether you feel that May self-sabotaged or sabotaged the friendship, or May feels that you self-sabotaged it, or are self-sabotaging yourself because you don't make contact. Does that make sense? So it's a bit like if you've got two friends that are falling out, friend A and friend B. Friend A knows that if friend B just rang and said, "You're right," that the friendship would be back. But friend A is the one that was innocent and therefore does not want to make the first move. And she's like, do you know what? If you don't make the first move, you're going to regret it. That's what this card is, right? And it's going, well, the door was open for you. You'll regret it. You'll miss all the late night talks. And friend B is just too busy going, nope, I don't want to ring. Don't want to ring. I shouldn't have to ring. Do you know what I mean? That's the vibe I'm getting. Hopefully that makes sense, my darling. It does feel that if you feel that you shouldn't be the one to reach out first, I think you're going to be the only one that's going to reach out. That's what the cards are saying. And that literally, if you were to reach out first, it would be reciprocated, I think. Hopefully that makes sense, my darling. I don't know what's going on. Let's have a look in the chat. Queen 707. Let's have a look. Oh gosh, you put loads in the chat. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. We used to be close friends, but we drifted apart due to our different paths. Yeah, it was a genuine bond. Absolutely feels like it. I feel like she's choosing other people over you, which is where the 7 comes in. I tried to make effort, but I feel like she isn't making any back. Yep. That feels about right. That stubbornness that you get sometimes with that, with the Hanged One card, that can be very, very true. And it's almost like you're cutting your nose off to spite your face. I don't know if you know that saying, but that's what it feels like. And it feels like there is something here. Okay, right, Wispy, take it off me. We're not doing spirit work here. I've been reading a book. Always dangerous when I pick up a new book, but it is by Poppy Palin, so that's good. Anyway, so I think that, oh God, I'm just going to say it, my darling. I think she feels hard done by, and that you need to apologize for something that you probably don't feel you need to apologize for. But until the words "I'm sorry" come out of your mouth, her doors are going to, and barriers are going to be up. Does that make sense? That's what it feels like. And it feels like she's got other people in her life, so she is going down a different path, but it really does feel that she misses you and the friendship that you two had. So I think it's almost like the Mean Girls type thing. I think she misses you and the connection you had, but she's got new friends because she's like, I don't need her. I don't need Queen in my life. That's what it feels like, right? So it feels like there is something happening there where she needs to get like almost, and again, you don't have to do it, but it almost feels like she wants you groveling on the hand and knee, but she doesn't. What she actually wants is just to know that you miss her as well. But it's all a front on top. But that 7 of Swords, just be careful, my darling. Just be careful. Anyway, hopefully that helps, Queen. Does that mean she's moved on from the friendship? I don't know whether she's moved on. It doesn't feel like the friendship is dead. It doesn't feel like it's been, severed forever. But I think she has moved on into a different friendship circle. Now, that may mean that you're not welcome in that circle, but it may also mean that there is still a circle over here for the two of you. Does that make sense? It's just, instead of it being every night, it might be you meet up once a week and have the same old chinwag and all of that. But it feels like she's got a bit of a new group. She's holding a grudge. I don't think she's holding a grudge as such that she's hurt, and feels that she hasn't had an apology. I think that's what it is. So I don't think it's a grudge. I think if you take away what a grudge is, 9 times out of 10, it's because somebody had their feelings hurt. And I think that's what it is on the under the surface. But again, tarot is for entertainment purpose only. You do make all your own decisions about your own life. So that's all there is for that, my darling. But hopefully that helps. Yeah, hopefully that helps. At least you've got a bit of an idea of where she is and what is happening. So yeah. Right then, everybody, good evening to Chelsea 33. Thank you, my darling. Let's have a look. Who else came in when I was doing the reading? I think I saw, did somebody else come in? Oh, you've got 9. I was always told it was 40, but it was with a Christianized Viking type thing, if that makes sense. Was it 9 days? Is it me that's confused here? I don't know. I think I was told it was. Why have you put Skeletor in the chat? I'll get you, He-Man. I can't do the jaw bit, but yeah, that's what I used to do, wasn't it? But anyway. Oh, no problem at all, my darling. No problem at all, Queen 707. But anyway, thank you ever so much for your reading. Thank you for your question. Don't forget, everybody, if you would like to join our members only, we've got a live one-on-one, not one-on-one, is it? We've got a live no, not me on you. There was a live chat for me and the members every Sunday evening at 6 p.m, the hour before we start the tarot stream on a Sunday, where we do relaxed readings. I'll talk about new decks if people are interested, things like that. If there's any of the members that want a reading, they get a longer reading and we go into it in more detail. So if you would like to be part of that, it's a wonderful, wonderful group. And it also helps financially support myself. And it means eventually when I get to the point where we've got $50 coming in a month, I will be able to upgrade this software that we're using now, which is StreamYard, and I'll be able to get the professional package, which will stop it looking quite as rough, because I will eventually be able to stream in HD. So if you would like to be part of that, just go up there, buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic. The details are all on there. And thank you ever so much for those of you that are actually supporting me. It's amazing. Right then. Oh, Queen's put a comment in. I guess it's better for you to move on if she acts petty. You made the effort, but she gave no effort. So yeah. Okay, my darling. As I say, it's entirely up to you. Without singing it, sometimes in life we do just have to let it go. Sometimes we do just have to let things go. And remember that if you hold on to toxicity, it's like holding on to a ball of radioactivity. Who is the person getting hurt? You're the person that is still getting hurt. So if that toxicity is what has become of your friendship, then just let that go and think about the wonderful friendship that you had, and take joy in the fact that, you know, you were able to let someone in, they were able to let you in, and you had that connection. Quite often in life, connections happen. I'm not singing Wicked either. They teach us something, and then we go our own paths. And then you're there to teach the next friend, and that friend's that. You know what I mean? So sometimes we've just got to let those connections, just let them go and remember them for what they were. Look at me being all like, I'll be doing yoga next and taking my kids to soccer. Is that right? Did I say that right? I think I did. Anyway, I'm embarrassed myself. Look, I'm blushing. So then... I am properly blushing. Right, it is time. The list is open. If you would like a reading, do please go ahead. Put the word question into the chat, followed by your question, and we will get to them after this. You got about a minute. Start with the word question. Oh, it didn't play. Yes, indeed. Let's have a look then. So the first one I'm drawn to is Sherry. No, yeah, Sherry Owl. What's coming? Hang on, let me bring that one up. Take the banner off. There we go. What does it say? I can't read today. I cannot read. Sherry Owl, hit the star button. What's coming towards you in love soon? Can we tell you about them? About the person that's coming your way in love? Yes. And you know what? I'm going to use this same deck. I love this deck. Why has that not come off? Hang on a sec, everybody. That should have stopped. There you go. There you go. We'll bung that one on. So then let's have a look. So dragons, we have Sherry L, who would like to know what is coming her way, or their way, I should say. What is coming Sherry's way in the romance department, in that their love life, in the boom chicka wow wow and the do 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 do. I was trying to do a non copyright song then, because we got struck big time with some of the songs we used to play on here. Well, we didn't get struck. I had to just delete it out of the videos, which isn't good. But anyway, right then, dragons. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Sorry, dragons. Right, Sherry L would like to know what's coming towards them in love. Can we tell Sherry anything about the future? Let's have a look. What is coming up in their love future? So, oh, cards jumped. There we go. Oh, no, hang on. That's two of them. Right, bear with me. If it's more than one, it's not a... Wispy, you're literally taking the mick now. You just did two and then you just did three. Just as I was saying, if it's more than one, it doesn't count. Welcome to Wispy, my darling. Welcome to the dragon, everybody. This is Wispy Energy, who is an air dragon and is a little bit like a mischievous puppy. Although Wispy loves tarot and loves to help everybody with the readings, accesses the information from the Akashic records and all of that stuff, he also does this. He flips multiple cards. Right. We're doing one more, Wispy. 3 cards does not count. Gosh, what is happening tonight? Right. Right, there you are. Look, thank you. 1 card. 1 card. So your clarifying card, we've got the 5 of Swords reversed. Now, the 5 of Swords, Swords is trouble and strife. But the 5 is talking about instability and things being a little bit chaotic. Here, what the card actually represents is we've got 3 knives that are upright in the sand. We've got 2 that have fallen. So again, it's talking about there being some opportunities, but some things have already passed by. Some things have already happened, okay? But this is reversed, which means for me, I think this is what's going on maybe around you, not necessarily in your love life, but around. Or is it dragons? Is it Sherry's love life? I don't know. Right, let's have a look. We'll cut your deck as normal. Hang on. There we go. Let's cut the deck. Okay. And we'll do your cards. Okay, so then, where you are, what you need to know, and what the opportunity is. So, where you are, we've got the Star. So the Star is, I love this deck. Look, I always say, look, this is me. If I was ever to go skinny dipping with water, jugs full of water, this is pretty much me. Tiny little boobs, and then lots of rolls of fat. That's me. That is me. I happily accept that. That is fine. Look, I've got a tarot card all about me. Anyway, this is not talking about your physicality, Sherry. Absolutely not. But it is talking about your mentality when you think about love. So this feels like a Disneyfication because this card for me always brings the star that goes over the Disney castle. And it's like, I know it's Tinkerbell, but it's like a star. And they do that wishing on a star. And it's all of that wishful thinking, that Disneyfication of fairy tales where you get the happy ever after. It's all of that this card brings up for me. It does also talk a little bit about intuition, but for me, it's about those emotions, because we've got the water connection. So we've got that emotional aspect of almost wishing, hoping for a relationship, and for it all being on the sort of manifestation front, rather than it being something where you're, you know, actively meeting people and doing that. So it feels like there's a little bit of, yeah, I think wishful thinking is the best way to put it. You know, I think there's a bit of wishful thinking going on. Now, in terms of what you need to know, we do have the Two of Swords. Now, interesting, because we've got the 5 coming up here reverse. So there is something, and again, this wishful thinking, I think, could well be because of even past trauma that this could represent. Now, the 2 here is a connection that you've still got with somebody that's either an ex or somebody that is a might have been that went sour. So there's still a connection here. It hasn't been fully cut. So whether that is that you need to, don't take this the wrong way, but build a bridge and get over it. Do you know that saying? Whether you need to literally find a way to get over that hurdle, whether that is counseling, whether it's, you know, just moving on physically, whatever that means, it feels like there is still a connection that needs to be severed. One very old traditional way that is now seen as quite populist is to even, you know, get a bonfire going in the back garden, or get a fire pit going, and then chuck their photo in, or chuck in the t-shirt that they left at your place, or whatever it is, chuck it in the fire, let it burn, let that energy go, and let it go, let it go, let it go. I know, right? I'm still resisting Disney, the Frozen song, but it feels like whilst that connection's here, this is really saying, look, it's still this negative connection and it still needs to be severed. So once that's gone, that will open up that space for, you know, potential new romantic and love life type energy. The opportunity here is, once this is gone, there's an opportunity here, because the Pentacles is all about new projects, new growth, new exciting adventures, right? But Pentacles is normally work, career, money. So there could be a work related romance. There could be something that is work related. The one thing I would say, or especially with this deck, because of the way it's being done, there could also be a connection to the earth. So somebody that maybe is really intent gardening, or you meet down the allotments, somebody that's got this sort of green finger element and this real element of, you know, digging in the soil, growing their own food, growing, you know, with nature. There's a very strong nature earthbound connection here. So yeah, hopefully, my darling, that helps. That's what feels like, that feels like where you are. I think that there is some, my instinct already was this is past, something from the past, and I think this 2 backs that up. So I'm actually going to ask the dragons to give me one more card. Okay, I'm not going to reshuffle them. I'm going to let them do their manifestation magic and make this top card be the relevant card, because according to the Akashic records, I have always asked that this next card be for you. And because I have always asked it, it was always meant to be. Does that make sense? So, dragons, I would like this top card to represent where this love connection comes. Okay, where it comes, what aspect it comes in. So, yeah, where it comes from, where this new love energy is coming in with this ace. That's what we want to know. And we've got the 10 of Wands. So for me, that is it represents the fire. It's the fire energy. Obviously it represents the fire. It's a bloody bonfire, Lisa. But it represents, so this would be somebody who is very, very confident, very sure of themselves, to the point where, not that they're an arsonist, but it's physically, this is giving me community bonfire, community fire event. So if there is an event happening physically around you somewhere, because I was asking specifically where, I think it could well be that somebody down the allotment is burning off all the wood. There's something here. There is really something here about allotments. I don't know why I keep getting this, or some area for growing land. I don't know why I keep getting this impression. It's almost like community farm. or there's something, there really is something here, and this feels like it's a community type bonfire event, a bit like we have on Bonfire Night, November the 5th. I don't know whether, if you're in the States, whether they do bonfires at July 4th, but that's coming up. Don't know, but there's a strong earthbound connection here, and this feels part of it. Anyway, my darling, I hope that helps. Thanks ever so much for your question, and I'm going to jump back on the other camera and back into the live comments. Let's have a look. Come on, give me the comments. There we go. Oh God, this is running slow today. Hopefully we're not jumping around too much. Can we not have that? Thank you very much. Right, let me have a look in the chat. If you're asking a question, good evening to Grace. If you're asking a question, hang on a second till we open up. And to Siokanta, hold on until we do the next round. The next round will be opening very, very soon. So just hang on in there a few seconds. Anyway, Sherry, I hope that helps, my darling. Mon Sherry, I hope that helps. Thank you very, very much. Next week's Canada Day celebrations, you're going to, they have fireworks. It could be fireworks and bonfires, and it could well be. I don't know. I've got what the dragons give me is they give me images that are a little bit, that are kind of almost personal. So they've given me the memory of a bonfire at a community centre that I went to when I was a wee one. And I remember the fireworks, and I remember the jacket potatoes that were cooked in the fire. So there's something about that which is making me think community. I know, right? These days you're fenced off miles away from the fires, but that's the way it was back then. And there's something here that's what they're giving me. It's very community, lots of lovely people. Oh, everything's really nice, and we're all having fun together, and you're seeing your neighbors and things like that. So whatever that means, that's what that card has jumped at me. It doesn't mean that's where it is, but hopefully, my darling, let us know if you meet the love of your life at a bonfire next week or whenever. Let us know. It'll be really interesting. Thank you very much for your question, Sherry. Right then, everybody, we are going to go straight on. I am going to change the ticker tape to this one. Is that the right one? Yes, it is. Go ahead, put your questions into the live chat, starting with the word question, and we'll do some more readings straight after these messages from our sponsors. No, we're not sponsored. I'm joking. We don't have sponsors, but what we do have is two amazing moderators on this channel that both of them have Etsy shops. Now, if you like horror magazines, horror films from the 80s, you will love this first little clip, right? It's from a magazine, a UK-based scene called the Necronomicon. It's phenomenal. It's been running 22 years, and the person behind it just happens to be so close to me that he calls me sis and I call him brother. So it feels like my brother. And the second one is from, again, one of our lovely mods here, who also I've been close to for not quite 20 odd years, but a fair few years now. And they also have a wonderful witchy business. So put your question in the live chat while I play you this.
Are you a fan of 80s horror but want something different? Do you like modern horror but the regular magazines leave you a bit cold? Are you a fan of that schlocky horror that no one else seems to talk about? Check out Necronomicon, the UK horror zine from Etsy.com. Just search for Necroneil.
Hi, I'm Lisa, a practicing liminal witch and tarot reader with over 28 years experience in helping people find guidance through the cards. On this channel I talk about all sorts of witchy, spooky and mystical things that interest me and I hope will interest you too. Welcome to Beyond Authentic Witchcraft. This is a Tarot Tuesday. Let's see what the cards will say today.
YouTube tarot reader Lisa Lee has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Yes, indeed. Right, then let's have a look at the questions in the chat. So on the comments page, God Lord, there's loads of them. Right, I'm going to that one, Flower Beauty. And oh, I can't read today. What will happen? Where's my glasses? Oh, I haven't got my glasses on my neck. Oh, well. I know, right? What will happen between me and AK in the future? Okie dokie, Flower Beauty. Hopefully you're still here, my darling. I've just noticed as soon as I played the video, right, that said it was either the one that said Liminal Witch or the one that said that I occasionally use bad language. We dropped 2 viewers. So somebody was like, oh no, I can't watch something where there's bad language. Or somebody went, I want a tarot reading, but I don't like witchcraft. I mean, fair enough, but, you know, kind of the channel's called Beyond Authentic Witchcraft. So, you know, anyway, Flower Beauty, my darling, you are up. I've just scrolled past the question before I start it. Right, there we go. And there we go. Right. So, question. When I star it, by the way, I've got a screen that highlights it in blue with white writing on top of blue. It makes it a bit easier for me to read. What will happen between me and AK in the future? Okay, let's have a look, my darling. By the way, good evening, Flower Beauty. I don't think I said good evening to you when you came in, did I? I didn't see you come. You must have came in when I was doing a reading. Otherwise, I try and say hello to people. Right then. So, dragons. The lovely Flower Beauty. I'm assuming they're lovely. With a name like Flower Beauty, they must be. Unless it's Drew Barrymore on with the Flower Beauty makeup brand. I mean, it could be. Could be, couldn't it? It could be Drew Barrymore. If it is, then like book me, my darling. Bring me on your TV show. But anyway, Dragons, Flower Beauty, who I'm sure isn't Drew Barrymore, really. Flower Beauty would like to know what's going to happen between them and AK in the future. What is going to happen between Flower Beauty and AK? Oh, there we go, in the future. So one more round, Dragons. One more round. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Last one. There we go. 4. So we haven't got a card flip today for you, Flower Beauty, my darling. So there we go. There's your drop, or here's your drop, I should say. Oh. Now, is that gonna go? Oh, it did. Oh, I had to jiggle it then, didn't I? Oh, the cards. There's a disturbance in the force. I sense a disturbance in the dragons. Right. Okay. So what will happen between you and AK? So what you need, where you are now, what you need to know, what the opportunity is. Right. Okay. So where you are now, we've got the Magician, my darling, which means the power is in your hands. Literally, that's what it means. So the Magician is about grabbing the elements around you. You can see there's I'm not sure if that's a wand or a sword, but there is some energy here that this person is holding that is on the ethereal plane. So whatever this object is, it is a magical object. I think it might even be the Athame looking at it, because it goes to a point. And this is using, I don't know whether you can quite see it there. There is an infinity sign. So this is that magical energy. And this is where you get to use the elements. So we've got the sword here. We've got the pentacle. We've got the cups. And we've got the wands represented here on these. We've also got the sign that would be for spirit. There's a mixing bowl. So this is basically using all of the elements that you've got to determine your destiny, to manifest, to make changes, and for your life, for you to choose the direction of your life, basically. That's where you are now, Flower Beauty. So whatever's happening with you and AK, it almost feels like, well, let me turn the question around. What do you want to happen? because you are the one that is in control here. You are the one that has all of the power and all of the elements in play. And it's up to you to decide where you go from here. Now, what you need to know, we've got the Page of Wands. So this, normally, I would say that Wands is your security, your confidence, how you see yourself. But this little light bulb here is giving me almost like an idea of confidence. Again, because the Page is a very young character, so they don't have to be, you know, physically young. They don't have to be a child, but they've got a lot of innocence about them. There's a lot of childlike elements, so a lot of that, you know, not worldly worn. So however AK is, I think this is for like where AK is at. I don't think AK maybe has quite understood something in the same way you have, because that, for this card, it's talking about this youthful confidence, but this idea of that, if that makes sense. Opportunity wise, we do have the Star again. Look, it's me. It almost could be, you know, except I've had my hair cut, and probably you need to add a few pounds and then some. But anyway, the Star is about that wishing thing. Now, I did say before that it's about wishful thinking, but the positive aspect, when the card comes up in an opportunity position, it really is talking about what you wish for, because sometimes in life, what you wish for can become a goal. And if you set that goal, it gives you somewhere to aim for, something to work towards, and you can then put in place those steps for you to reach your goal, for you to attain your goal. So that is something, again, it feels overall, apart from this idea of this innocence going on, it feels like, Flower Beauty, that you have got pretty much all of the power in whatever this relationship is. So if you set your goals for you and AK to be, you know, good together, whether that's in a partnership or friendship, or whether that's a family member, if you want the two of you to be tight, there's a way that you can do that, get those, you know, set those goals. If you're not wanting that, if you're wanting it to be something else and for it to go a different direction, then again, it's down to you. It honestly feels like this is an opportunity for you. And the fact that we've got where you are and your opportunity, and it's a card of making things happen and a card of wishing for things to happen, that absolutely tells me categorically that if you wish for it to happen, set the goals and make plans to attain those goals, that will happen. Okay, just bear in mind, we do have this youthful sort of energy coming in, or this innocent energy coming in terms of probably AK's confidence and sense of self. Okay, my darling, I hope that helps. I really, really do. Let me go. Oh, not that one. Let me go across every single night. Just when I start thinking, oh, I haven't messed up on the stream yet, this is looking like a professional YouTuber, then we go. So yes, thank you ever so much. There's the answer is there anything romantic? Is what do you want? That's the answer. If you want it to be romantic, then you are the one that is going to have to make that happen, because we've got your Magician here and we've got the Star in the opportunity. So if this is something that you want to happen, you are going to have the opportunity to make this happen, right? But you are going to have to take advantage of it. So if AK probably isn't going to make the first move because of that Page card, that innocence, and because that's on the not willpower, that's on the sense of self, the confidence. It's telling me that they're quite maybe a little bit insecure about themselves. So they may be longing for you, yearning for you, lusting for you, but they're never going to ask you out. You are the one that's going to have to say, so then, are we going for coffee? Do you want to go for dinner? Do you want to like stay over at mine for 4 days and have nothing but non-stop wonderful sex? Whatever it is, you maybe not the last one, maybe that's what you want. Set those goals, girl, but that is what you're going to have to do, right? If you want it romantic, then you need to do that. You're the one that needs to set that, because the Magician, the power is in The power's in your hands, literally, with the magician. Right, I hope that helps, my darling. So then, let's exactly, woof woof, exactly. It's entirely up to you. Right then, let's have a look. But it's a good opportunity for it coming up. So it will make itself known. There's a good opportunity with that wish card. Set the wish, set your dreams, go for it, make those goals happen. Right, let's have a look then. So I think Grace has just joined. Good evening to Grace. Rimshah Hamid. Good evening to Rimshah. Good evening to Belinda Jane Harris. Who have I not said hello to yet? I think that's everybody. Sia Kante, yes, I said hello to you as well. Right then, everybody. I think it's time for another, exactly. What's the worst that can happen? Well, technically, Patricia, the worst thing that could happen would be an STD or pregnancy, you know, things like that. So, yeah, maybe make sure everything's wrapped. And then what's the worst thing that can happen? Bit of carpet burns. Anyway, did I actually say that out loud? Yes, I did. Anyway, let's go ahead and shave my embarrassment. Save my embarrassment and go ahead and open up the round again. So if you would like a reading, go ahead and put your questions in right now. And yeah, I'll give you a couple of more seconds because I've just realized I didn't give you very long. Go ahead and put your question in, starting with the word question. I also needed to hit the banner so you understand what you need to do. There you go. Start with the word question, put your question in the live chat. Even if you've already done it, I can't go back, unfortunately, and see ones that have passed. So if you want a reading on this go round, put it in right now. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button. And then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ding your bell and make sure your settings are changed to all. That way YouTube should notify you each and every time I upload a video. But if you would like to support myself and this channel just a little bit more, you can always go across to buymeacoffee.com/BeyondAuthentic, where you can in fact buy me a coffee. Thanks so much for those of you choosing to support me. Okay, let's have a look. So it looks like only one person has put their question in. And I know we've got, it keeps telling me we've got 11, then 9, then 10, then 11, then 9. So there's, I don't know how many people here, but if nobody else wants a reading, then we've only got the one question in, then I will just do that question. I will give you, I'll play another one for 20 seconds. And if not, then we'll just do that one question. Let me, in fact, you know what? Right, in fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. There's two questions. I'll do both of them, okay? So Grace and Belinda, hold on in there, the pair of you. 1 second. Let me just start the things. Let me take down the banner before I forget. And then let's have a look. Right, so Belinda, I will try and do your question first, okay? Now, this isn't the sort of thing that we normally can do with tarot, but I'm going to ask the dragons. In fact, yeah, go on. I'm going to ask the dragons. So let me just have a look. Let me just see what the dragons can say. So then, dragons, Belinda Jane Harris is in a position that nobody in the entire planet should ever be in. So Belinda has an angel baby and would like to know if the angel baby is happy and safe with loved ones that have passed. That's what we would like, dragons. So perhaps from the Akashic Records, dragons, if we can maybe not get a message, but if you can, how can I do this? Right, Wispy, what I need you to do is Wispy, is to access the Akashic and send a message through the cards for Jane from the Akashic records themselves, not from the angel baby or anything else. We want to know from the effectively whoever is in charge, or whatever is in charge, or whatever catalogs or whatever information that we've got. We want it from the records themselves and not from the angel baby. Okay, let's make that clear, Wispy. So Wispy, go, and I'm using your magical name in my head. So Wispy, what I need you to do is to go and access the Akashic records for the angel baby and just let us know if the angel baby is okay and with the souls and with the energies of those that have passed, or with the safe energies. Let's put it that way, the safe and loving energies. That's what we want. Okay, Wispy. Now, of course, the fun thing about the way the Akashic records work is that we don't have a lag of time with the Akashic records. By the way, I just had my eyes shut that entire time, so I don't know if any of the cards have flipped in here. I'll have to have a look in just a second just to make sure. Right, we've done your drop. So then, let me just make sure there was none that flipped. Right, the great thing about the Akashic records is that the Akashic records know that I was always going to ask that question in that way, so the cards will already be here for that question, if that makes sense. Right then, let's have a look. So we want 3 cards, and we'll take the 3 cards as one answer from the Akashic. So, okay, we've got the 7 of Swords, we've got the 2 of Pentacles, and we've got the 9 of Swords. Okay, this is telling me that there's a hell of a lot of grief that went with. So now, don't be scared about the swords, Belinda, because in this instance, the other side of the swords comes through. So there is, because swords are double-edged. So we've got the trouble and strife element, but we've also got the element of ideas, and it's the elemental connection is with air, and Wispy particularly is an air dragon. So that's giving me that connection through. It's slightly different than what I would use for a standard tarot interpretation, because we're asking a very specific question in a very specific way, which is why I was very careful to ask it in that way. So then the 7 for me would represent, I mean, it literally has shiny things, so silver and shiny things, and that is saying that the ideas with the 7, okay, with the elemental connection through the ideas and through the mind and the ethereal, that is saying that there's a lot, excuse me, there's a lot of nest building here, but that a lot of grief went over. So I would, oh gosh, right, okay, Wispy, okay, we're doing this then. Okay, so it feels very much like a hell of a lot of grief went over. It feels that either this was, oh my gosh, this was either this was very sudden. It feels this was an unexpected, something happened. Okay, I'm okay. So what I'm being given, what I'm seeing in my memory, and again it could be completely off, is I'm seeing incubators and a small one in an incubator, and the sort of incubator where you've got the gloves that go in and to hold, which is telling me that perhaps the perhaps this was maybe a stillbirth, or something happened very, very soon, because the energy I'm getting is very, 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 very innocent, very pure energy, and that instantly says that has gone to where the love is. The silver elements that I pick up with this card, because for me, although we can't see the silver, like we've got jewelry and diamonds and silver and all of this stuff, I think the sword is representing that ethereal connection, and I think it's representing the grief, that intense grief. But also there's an element that I've got coming through with the swords that is saying that there was also a sense of no more suffering. So it feels like everything was okay until it really wasn't. There's an element coming in with the Two of Pentacles. So Pentacles is the amount of work and the amount of effort, and it feels very strongly that there was, if I'm wrong, Belinda, please say, because I don't want to make a situation more intense or more upsetting. So if I am completely wrong, please say. But it feels like this was almost a round the clock care situation. And like what I mean by that is it was like sleeping in the chair next to the incubator in the room, like not getting any release. And that this being an immense amount of everything that could be done was being done, and it feels very much like the spirit, the soul, the energy has gone where it needed to go. Oh gosh, right, okay, Wispy. It feels like, okay, so the dragons give me information in various different ways. Okay, they sometimes give me things that I remember from my own youth, or things and events that I can relay, like I did earlier with the bonfire. I've just been given an image, which is something bizarrely, it's from Star Trek, but it's not meant in any way jest, of there is a particular scene where an energy that's been in the ship rejoins its people, and it's gone into that ship and had a very brief life, a very brief existence on this plane, only to go back to its own energy, its own people, its own entities on that plane. And that is what they've given me. That's what the dragon is giving me, and literally saying, like, this energy was only ever meant to be here for a very short time. That was its journey. That's what it was always meant to do. It was only ever meant to be here for a short time, for it to learn the lessons that energy needed, but also to make way for other energies. So I don't know what that is relating to, but it feels like there's been a continuation after that. I hope what I'm saying makes sense, Belinda. I really do. If I'm wrong, I apologize profusely. But yeah, it feels like absolutely the energy that you carried has gone back with the loving energy that it came from. So whatever your belief is, if you believe it comes from the ancestors and those that have passed, and that energy goes back to the families, you know, to our family members, our loved ones, and that's where the energy's gone, then that's what it is. If you believe it's part of the universe making sense of itself, then that's what that can mean as well. But the energy has absolutely gone back to its home. And I'm also being, oh, okay, right, Wispy, I need to be careful what I read. So Wispy is basically saying, look, right, every single one of us on Earth, we all have, compared to what is out there, we have an incredibly short lifespan, right? But some of ours are short in terms of weeks or months. some of ours are short in terms of decades. Even if you live to 150, it's still really short for the spirit realm. It's like that's nothing. So all of us come down for a finite time. It's just that some get the bit that they need and rejoin really quickly, and for some it takes us a long time to get the information that we need. But yeah, I'm getting, oh my god, I'm getting Ed will probably understand why I'm hesitant to say this, but I am feeling great joy, right? So I am oh, I don't know where this is from. I hope this is hitting Belinda. I really do, because I'm getting overwhelmed with the sense of joy and peace and thanks. Now this again is the end of this particular episode, and the dragons are basically giving me that, but in a slightly different form. Now I don't know why, apart from if I trust what they say, which I normally do, then this is like it, just that it corresponds. They're giving it to me how I would understand it, but it feels like there is an immense amount of joy. That energy did what it needed to do, and that energy has gone back to where it needed to be, and is very thankful for you to have looked after it and nurtured it as long as you did. And okay, and that in years and years and years to come, whenever all of our time is finished here, you'll understand when you go back to our people, when you go back to that energy, you'll understand. I hope I really hope that helps, my darling. I really, really hope that helps. And yeah, thank you. Hopefully that wasn't too waffly. Just to say that the Nine of Swords for me is talking about, I don't know why, but it's talking about father figures and grandfather figures and sheds, tool sheds, lots of tools, lots of, yeah, tool sheds. So hopefully, my darling, that helps. So yeah, hopefully that helps, my darling. I'm incredibly sorry for your loss. I really, really am. But just know, if it's any kind of consolation, my darling, just know that there is wherever you believe that the soul or the spirit or the energy goes, it's very at peace and very happily continuing where it is. And I hope that helps, my darling. I really, 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 really do. Okay, I said I was going to read for Grace as well, so I will do that, Grace. Just please allow me just 1 minute. I need to reground just a second. So yeah, I'll be back in less than a minute. Let me just see if I've got a little video or something. Yeah, just give me. Oh, I haven't got a 50-minute or 50. Not a 50-minute. Right. I'm going to play this. Give me 35 seconds.
YouTube tarot reader Lisa Lee has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Right then, Wow, that was intense, wasn't it, everybody? Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes the connection is so strong, I've got no choice but to go with it, because this is what I've learned. Hang on a second. Let me just move me bottom. This is what I've learned over the years, everybody, is that I tried not to read tarot and not to do anything with that type of connection for a long time, and it bit me on the bum. It literally bit me on the bum. It was something that I am, if I say so myself, it's something that I'm good at, and something that I kind of feel is part of my reason for being here, if that makes sense. And sometimes that connection goes into more spirit work, and sometimes that happens very intensely, as you can probably see. And yeah, it is something it's something I've been trying to ignore for a long time, and now I'm starting to go down. But we'll see what happens. Right then, Grace, let's do your reading next, my darling. Let's do your reading next. Just hang on a second, everybody. You can ask questions. I said I would do Grace, so I'm going to do Grace next, and then I will open the round up. So I've got one reading, and then we're going to open the round back up. Okay, so then, Grace, my darling, if you're still here, just come and say hello in the live chat, so I know that you're here and I'm not reading for, you know, nobody for, you know, the person that I'm reading for hasn't buggered off, because you could be watching Mr. Beast or PewDiePie or what do other people, because all my YouTube channels are either wrestling or Star Trek or weird witch tube. Yeah. So yeah, you could be off watching funnycats.com. I don't know what other channels I don't know what other people watch. Right, Grace is here. Fantastic. I've got you, my darling. Thank God for that. Gosh. Right, let's have a look. So what is your question? What is blocking you to be happy? To be in a happy relationship? Okay, let's have a look, my darling. Let's have a look. So, dragons. There we go. Cleanse the energy. Dragons, what we would like to know is, what is blocking Grace from being in a happy relationship? Come on, camera. What is blocking Grace from being in a happy relationship? That is what we want to know, dragons. That is what we want to know. So, So let's just have a look. See. Yep. Okie dokie. So then, what is blocking Grace from Wispy? What is blocking Grace from being in a happy relationship? That's what we want to know. Oh, Wispy, all right. Don't try and Wispy's all, Mummy's upset. Mummy needs cuddles. Let's do something fun for Mummy. No, it's right. There you go. We've had a card flip, and it's come out on edge, basically, right? So what have we got? We've got the Justice card. So I will have a look now. For me, I think it's more this, and I'll tell you why in a second. But as you all know, on this channel, once we've had a card flip, once Wispy has delivered that message, we go ahead, do your drop. So we cut the deck, and then we do the reading. We go straight to the cards. So let's have a look, my darling. The 10 of Pentacles, the 6 of Swords, and the 9 of Pentacles. Right. Okay. Now, for me, the Justice card is a really important card. Okay. Now, it came out in between good and bad. So it's something that I think, for me, is erring on the side of injustice. Okay. So it feels like something has happened that is unjust, is unfair. Now, whether that's down to a recent relationship and you're still recovering from that, or whether there's something that you've been dealing with of a legal matter, because quite often justice can refer to legality, contracts, things like that. But it feels very much that there is a certain injustice about this. So maybe the last relationship you did nothing wrong, but the person that you were with was a bit of an arse. Do you know what I mean? So it could well be something like that, in all honesty. But let's have a look at what the cards themselves want to say. So again, I'm going to read these three as the reason for the block. So we've got the 10 of Pentacles reversed. Now, the 10 of Pentacles is normally quite a successful card, talking about money. Now, this doesn't mean you don't have money. It doesn't mean that, oh yeah, you're too poor to be happy in a relationship. None of that bollocks. But what this is perhaps suggesting is, do you prioritize your working life over your love life? Do you prioritize your career, the advancement that you maybe want to get, your study even? Do you prioritize that as opposed to prioritizing your romantic and slightly freer life? Interesting question. I will pause that one there, because we've also got the 6 of Swords reversed. Now, Swords for me is the suit that normally revolves around trouble and strife. Can mean ideas as well, as you saw in the last reading, and more ethereal things. But this for me, I mean, this is not a good situation to be in, right? Can you see what's happened? You're on a boat in the middle of the ocean, and we've got some spiky nails in it. There is actually 6. I know sometimes that middle one there gets missed, but there are 6 nails in your boat. So something is saying that perhaps, and again, this is reversed, so it's not too bad, but perhaps I would say that this might mean that you ignore the red flags. So maybe there's something that when a red flag occurs, you think, you know, you kind of ignore it. You want to put it off. You don't necessarily get the signs, because quite often when geese are flying in formation, seafarers are able to kind of spot, depending on obviously the season, they can kind of spot the direction they're going in, because they migrate a certain way. And that isn't always going to be the case. But if you're away at sea in the middle of an ocean and a flock of geese go by, it will tell you maybe how close you are to land, or, you know, whether you're going east to west or north to south or whatever it is. There are ways that experienced seafarers know these things. And again, this reversal is saying maybe you're not picking up on all those signs. And then we've got, which again brings up this sort of, it's not fair that things have gone wrong if you weren't aware of those signs, if that makes sense. But then we've got the 9 of Pentacles, and it's upright. Now, this is a card of, for me, it feels very celebratory, very harvest festivally. It's like you've put all the work in and you're starting to really sow the benefits. But the fact that this is coming up with such an interesting question, I think the blockage could possibly be that either you haven't started to enjoy the fruits of your labor, or you've started to enjoy them too much. The fact that it's upright is maybe saying that even though you're forever chasing maybe a promotion or you know, more of a financial stability, a financial improvement, that actually in work, either the minute you get this, you start, you know, taking your foot off the pedal, which for me doesn't really feel accurate, or that more likely it's one of these, you live hard and play hard. Now, I don't know how that kind of connects, but it really does feel, because this is upright, and because you're asking what is blocking your a happy relationship, I think it is down to maybe there is some fear with this 6 of Swords coming in, a little bit of this red flagging, but this does feel like a little bit of overindulgence in some areas. So maybe if we're looking into this from a relationship perspective, maybe you go from naught to moving in really rapidly, or maybe it's sort of all or nothing. But yeah, that's what I'm picking up. So I think in terms of how you unblock, whatever this element of injustice is, whatever this legal element is, whatever this justice card is relating to, is obviously something that you need to take care of, because it's a major arcana card. So if there is some sort of legal issue or some sort of contracted issue that is taking all of your energy away at the moment, then that is something you need to look at, particularly because these 2 cards are talking about work, and that obviously would be a work contract. And this one talking about not seeing the signs or not seeing the dangers and the warnings, I think is more about the people that you might have relationships with. But yeah, hopefully, Grace, that helps. I don't know whether it does or not, but hopefully that helps. Thank you ever so much for your question. And yeah, let me flip back to the other camera. There we go. I tell you what, even though I'm on this camera, Dragons, one more card. How do we unblock? How do we get through that blockage for Grace? Right, top card, because again, Akashic Records, I've always asked that. So the top card is the Page of Swords reversed. Right, so let me have a look at the card. So knowledge, pages are youthful energy, and the swords for me would be talking about, again, it is trouble and strife, but again, it's more talking about, are we talking about not recognizing it because of innocence, or are we talking about not recognizing it because of a lack of experience, which is slightly different? Is innocence. Are you somebody, right? Oh God, this is going to sound like the most cold reading ever. It's not, but I'm not even going to say, are you? You are someone who likes to see the positive in everybody, even when somebody's doing you dirty. Right, thank you, Dragons. This is what the 6 is, and this is what the page is. This is what I needed. Right, so these 2 cards are completely linked, right? The 6 is saying there are some red flags that sometimes you don't pick up on. The page is saying actually you do pick up on them. Let's be honest, you do realize when a flag goes off, but you think to yourself, am I just confusing that red flag with what somebody did to me in the past? And that is where that page card comes in, because it's literally saying that it's a lack of experience almost, but it's that element of seeing things, seeing everything as a red flag sometimes, and then not seeing the genuine ones. Does that make sense? I know. Thank you, Ed. I'm going to do one more reading, everybody. There's one more chance for a reading tonight. So again, if you want to guarantee you get the last slot, buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic. Go over there and do a QJump while I'm finishing up with Grace. But that absolutely, Grace, makes sense, because that page reversed is saying that there is something here that you are willingly almost ignoring, so that when the red flags go off, it's almost like you say to yourself, well, I don't know, say you partner accepted somebody else's phone number, you go, well, it doesn't mean they didn't ask for the phone number, but yes, they should have said no thank you, untaken, but because they didn't but you know, it's like maybe they didn't want to appear rude, whereas actually what perhaps other people would think is, no, you got someone else's phone number. However that happened, neither here nor there. The fact that you accepted their phone number means you, even in the back of your head, you were interested. Therefore, red flag. And perhaps for you, you go, well, it's not really a red flag. They didn't really do anything. And actually, it's, you know, they didn't ask for the number. Do you see what I mean? So you kind of make excuses. But anyway, my darling, I hope that helps. And thank you ever so much for your question. Right, everyone, the next round is open. The last round, go ahead and request a reading. Go ahead and do all the things. Put your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. You do have to be subscribed to be able to do that. And again, if you don't know how to get a reading, here's how. Okay, let's have a look at the live chat and let's see. I'm going to the first one I'm drawn to, which is Chelsea 33. Chelsea 33. Hang on, that one. Let me go to the banners. I don't know what your question is because I can't actually see it until I go on that screen and highlight it and put a star on it and put it on the star screen. Then I can read it. Right. Question: how do I prevail heart in my current situation with M, my sister? How do you prevail in your current situation with M? What? So what do you mean by prevail? Because that's a really interesting card. So you want to win against. Is that how that comes across? How do I prevail? Because that's certainly what, for me, it feels like. Let me have a look. Hang on, just before I jump off, we've got, it means so much to you. Your birthday was on Saturday, and this is like a birthday gift. Oh, it is, my darling. It absolutely is. Right, let me have a look. So, dragons, how do we, right, come off the live. How do we, how does, I've just realized I've not even changed camera, have I? This is the last reading for tonight, everybody. So thank you ever so much for your questions. This is the last one we've got time for tonight. We do finish in about 10 minutes time. So then, dragons, what we would like to know. Oh, no, that's not the question, is it? Hang on. There we go. Dragons, Chelsea would like to know, Chelsea33 on the YouTubes would like to know, how do they prevail in their current situation with M, who is Chelsea's sister? How does Chelsea prevail in the situation with M, who is Chelsea's sister? Oh my gosh, I can't speak tonight. Let's have a look. Wispy, stop chucking the cards around. If you want one to flip, thank you. We'll have one to flip. That's what you do. Again, we've got the Page of Swords has flipped. So this is your clarifying card or modifying card. Now, Page of Swords is innocent energy. Swords is trouble and strife. And it's, you can see here, look, it's a very fine balancing act. This person is actually not on a sword, even though that's what it looks like, which is what I do interpret it as. But you've also got this learning thing, education, and it's reversed. So that is telling me that I don't know what's happening between you and M, your sister, but it feels very childish, to be honest. It feels like the universe wants me to come and bang your bloody heads together. Do you know what I mean? That's what it feels like. It feels like you kind of need a clip round the ear, as, you know, corporal punishment from back in the day. Nowadays, you know, nobody would ever suggest hitting a child or clapping, smacking them or whatever. But back in the day, that was the dumb thing, wasn't it? But it does, and I'm not saying to do that, but it does feel like the root of this is in a sibling rivalry, and that feels really, really interesting. Right, let me have a look. Oh, we've got the 9's been popular today, hasn't it? The 9 has been popular today. I think it's come up 3 times, something like that. Right, so we'll do where you are, what you need to know, and what your opportunity is. So then, where you are, we've got the Ace of Wands. Now, it is a new beginning, a new start, but you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it, my darling, because it's reversed. So it's something you don't want to do. Whatever this is that's happened, I think it's happened only recently. And it feels like, although for you, it feels quite incendiary. It feels like the flame has been lit. The spark has been lit. It's almost like when you throw a match onto a bonfire that's been soaked in like petrol fumes and things, or in petrol. It's like, yeah, chuck it on, or on the barbecue where you chuck it on and the gas goes boom. Do you know what I mean? So this feels like you feel that this has happened very recently, and that it is something that I think you feel quite passionate about, because it's not the Cup card, but it is the Wands, and it's something to do with your confidence. It's almost like you are absolutely sure that you are in the right with this, even though you might not be, and even though you don't like it. It kind of feels like for you, it's almost like that stubborn streak I was talking about earlier. It's almost like for you there is this stubborn element of, no, do you know what? M needs to back off. M needs to whatever. And so this word prevail, I think absolutely there's a bit of loggerheads going on. In terms of what you need to know, we've got the Emperor. Now, this is, I mean, I love this deck for so many reasons, but the Emperor is the one that has the blueprints, the map, the measuring tape, the pencils, the pens, the tools. The Emperor is the one who decides what happens and where things go. So the Emperor is literally, when it says what you need to know, I think you need to maybe get some advice in terms of from somebody that's in a position of authority that can make certain things happen, okay? Because the Emperor has authority in the deck. The Emperor is arguably the highest authority, certainly the highest authority figure in the deck, I would argue, next to the Hierophant, because you've got political and religious power combined. That isn't to take away your power, which would be the Fool or the Magician maybe, but this is really talking about in this position. It's like, look, you probably don't know enough right now, so take some advice, whatever that advice is, whether it's practical advice about building, whether it's legal advice. I always say this isn't legal advice, but maybe you need to seek out some sort of professional opinion or some sort of authority opinion to find out where this is going. Does that make sense? Because there is something here about not knowing causing an issue. It's this not knowing that's the problem. And then the opportunity position, we've got the 9 of Pentacles. Now, again, this would perhaps suggest that it's a feast, but again, it's a pentacle card, so it's a work-related card or a financial-related card. So in the opportunity, it feels like if money is involved, then there is an opportunity to cut your losses, right? It doesn't mean you're going to get this money back or this element back, because it feels, this is what this feels like with the reversal. If it was this way round, then there'd perhaps be an opportunity to gain money in some way. But this reversal feels like if there is a financial connection here or a financial burden, that it's almost like you need to go, I've drawn the line, I've lost $500, but at least I'm not going to lose any more $500 every time this happens or every time this whatever's going on. And it almost feels like that's the best hope that you can get, my darling. I don't know if any of that makes any kind of sense. Let me have a look in the live chat and swap the cameras around. I can always clarify things if I need to. Let's have a look in the live. You want love to prevail, right? Okay, my darling. You want to choose yourself. You don't want to hurt anyone. Okay, and yep, so you can take that. Yeah, you snapped, right? No one rules the roost in your household. It's a free-for-all. There's definitely someone that needs to have that authority. You think your sister's wanting it. Okay, my darling. Okay. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, my love. It could be, my darling. It could be. And if you're in the wrong, it's okay. You can recover. It could be. It feels like absolutely in what you need to know, we've got that Emperor. It could be that she's desiring to be the head of the household, to sit in the, you know, the big chair, to carve the turkey at Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever it is, and do all of those things. But with that, with great power comes great responsibility. To quote Spider-Man, there needs to be a taking on of that authority and that responsibility as well. And the Page of Swords is absolutely not ready for that. Absolutely not ready for that. The Page of Swords is too young, too naive, too innocent for that, my darling. If it's you that is the page, then it feels like you can get through it. Absolutely, you can get through it with some wisdom, maybe, and with a little bit of learning. And I know that sounds so patronizing, and I don't mean it to be, but it does feel that whoever the page is representing has a few lessons in life yet to learn, my darling. But hopefully, my darling, that helps. And that is going to be it for today's readings, everybody. Thank you once again. If you've been asking, if you've had a question answered, if you weren't able to get one answered today, then please do come and see us again on Sunday evening, 7 p.m. UK time for non-members. Don't forget, though, that we've got a members only pre-live live chat, and a live stream that is exclusive to our members. So if you want to know more about becoming a member, you can do that by going over to here, buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic. There are different membership levels, but I will always ask on the pre-live live if anybody wants a reading. We talk about new decks that I might have that people might want to see, or decks that people haven't seen for a while. We talk about what might be happening in other areas as well. And it's just generally a bit of a general chit chat, a very friendly, warm and welcoming safe space. So if anybody wants to come and join, absolutely welcome. Just go over there for the membership. It starts at $3 without the perks. Sorry, £3 without the perks, GB pounds. With the perks, to get all of that, it starts at $5. If you want to help at the mega level, the $20 level, that also gets you a monthly 10 card reading, which we can do one-to-one as a live or as a video recording that I can send you. It's entirely up to you. So all of that's available over here. If you would like to book a tarot reading, you can do that over here as well. buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic, or the Fiverr link is still up and running. If you check out my channel on a PC or laptop, those links are on the screen just below the banner. If you're on your phone or if you're on a tablet, it's just down below where you click on the channel page, and there's a little thing that says details, and it's just on there. But that is it for me today. I want to say a huge thank you to the moderators. I cannot do this without the mods. They allow me to do the readings and keep everybody safe and happy in the live. So again, much love to the moderators. If you've been watching on the replay crew, much love to you. Wonderful, wonderful replay crew. Just pop a heart emoji in the chat, any color. I tell you what, no, let's have a purple one today. I like purple, as you can see by my eyeshadow. But that is it today. All that's left to say thank you very much, and I'll be back on Sunday evening, 7 p.m. UK time, or 6 p.m. for members. Take care, everyone. Awkward wave. Bye-bye. Awkward wave.